according to our Ian Begley, Carmelo Anthony is pretty optimistic a deal would be worked out between the Knicks and Houston, which would allow Melo to join a reshaped Houston team that includes his buddy Chris Paul. Now, Begley also pointed out this deal more than likely can't get done without involving a third team. But let's fast forward, though. Let's say the Rockets are able to pull off a trade for Melo. Would that put them on the Warriors' level?
Not equal, but very close. Like Daryl Morey said last week, that looking at the top 8 rotation for Houston as it stands now, he thinks they've closed the gap. I think that's just a slight misuse of words, if I may say so. They've narrowed the gap.
Okay.
It's not as wide as it once was before they obviously got Chris Paul and P.J. Tucker. Love that pickup as well. I'm not holding my breath that this is going to happen.
Me neither.
Carmelo being optimistic about the Knicks, he could be hopeful.
Right.
Look, I know that both he and Chris Paul are so hell-bent on playing together in Houston that if it took them calling up every owner in the NBA to see if they can get a third team to take Ryan Anderson's contract, they would do it. They would personally negotiate this deal if they could. But nobody wants Ryan Anderson's contract. The Knicks, they want some kind of assets in return.
And nobody is really, if you're another team, why do you want to help Houston anyway? Why?
There's that too. So, ultimately, I think this is one of those situations where he's stuck like Chuck. I would love to see Melo move to Houston, or Cleveland for that matter, to play meaningful basketball, because I do think, despite his defensive deficiencies, in Houston, that's a lot of firepower for the Warriors to have to deal with as well.
It is, but let's not forget the kind of offseason, the Warriors have just had as well, right? With Swaggy P. I mean, they've been...
Say that again?
With Swaggy P. I know, sentences you never thought you would say, that a key offseason acquisition...
Warriors are big winners. Not because of the discount Durant took, but Swaggy P. Yeah, I got you.
And Mark Casper, too. So they've had a nice offseason themselves. But look, I think adding Carmelo Anthony would make the Rockets better, but I still don't think it puts them on the Warriors level, because we seem to forget just that quickly, what is it that made the Warriors so special? Pace,
defense.
number 1, defense, number 2. And looking at that team, I see some, obviously, defensive liabilities that have been shored up. Having Chris Paul there is huge.
Absolutely.
But what is the identity of this team? Like, what are they supposed to be? Houston has a knack for adding a lot of interesting pieces, and sometimes I wonder how they will all ultimately work together.
But the ones that they had weren't going to get it done, and
No.
I commend them for knowing that. Just because it may not... Look,
No, I love what they're doing. I love their aggressiveness.
And we'll talk about this
that.
with the Celtics, like as it relates to LeBron. You can't get Durant.
Right.
But you can't just stand pat either. And that's been the whole theme of this offseason, which I appreciate, is that teams didn't say, we're just going to wait out the Warriors. No, they're loading up and trying to go for it and let the chips fall where they may. All right, to borrow from Black Mama, the California Mountain Snake, and Kill Bill Volume 2, Knicks, you don't even have a future. They still don't have a GM because, heaven forbid, they allowed David Griffin to bring in his own people.
Yeah.
The guy running the show now, Steve Mills, was a no-show at Tim Hardaway Jr.'s introductory press conference today. The Daily News says that Griffin or anyone else wanting to get rid of Allen Houston is a no-go. But at the very least, they got Hardaway for $71 million over 4 years. Are the Knicks just like a penny with a hole in it, as in hopeless?
They are hopeless, because it's so interesting to me, especially with Harden getting his big contract. People have had a lot of conversation and a lot of arguments over what players are getting paid and whether or not deserve it or not. Yet you have James Dolan, the captain of dysfunction, allowed to run this team the way that he has, still making millions and billions of dollars off of this, and yet that seems to, it doesn't necessarily go unnoticed, but people, that's how you put it in perspective. At least player X is proving what he has to do on a yearly basis. You have this dude that has been sitting in the owner's box ruining one of the franchise teams in the NBA, and at this point, I don't know why, you said a minute ago, Carmelo can be hopeful, but looking at just what a comedy of errors this franchise has been, I'm not shocked that they're in this spot.
They're so creative. I want to give them credit for something. They're
Because
very
they find
creative.
a new low.
Like, okay, you got Dan Gilbert lowballing people,
Right.
which is ridiculous. You got the Knicks saying, nah, we just don't think you should be making the decisions because we're doing such a bang-up job of that.
Can judge anyone
Like,
for this.
no, we want to keep the status quo. We don't want to get rid of people that have not done anything. Why would we do that? Why would we allow a general manager to generally manage? In what world is that a smart thing? Not in New York.
No.
It's not a smart thing to let an accountant general manager come in and make decisions. Oh, and whoever is blessed or cursed, whichever way you want to look at it, with this opportunity, now you got to take Tim Hardaway Jr.'s contract too.
Good
so
luck.
let's make the job even harder for the next cat, whether that's Allen Houston sooner rather than later, or Steve Mills, or whoever it is. Figure out how to make chicken salad out of you know what with this roster of contracts. You know what the Knicks are? The Knicks are that person that's like got nothing going for him except for money. And people only want to be with them for their money. Like you try to tell him, like, she a gold digger.
Right.
Or he just wants you for your money. He's just trying to take your inheritance. Right. That's the only
like
way he's going to get anybody to go
you
there.
You Mary J, he's Kendu.
I haven't caught up there. But
really?
I don't know what that means.
Mike.
I don't know.
That's okay.
Being Mary Jane?
Mary J. Blige, Kendu. Her husband, he's taking her to the cleaners. Where you been?
Oh, I thought you said Mary Jane.
No, Mary J. Blige. See?
You just got me all off track. My overall point in the matter was you have New York City, which should attract talent in and of itself.
Right.
The only way people are ever going to sign or work for New York is if you overpay.
Correct.
Meanwhile, Phil's somewhere with his feet kicked up, laughing right now. That was the best thing of the weekend, him just tweeting, because I told you, they got rid of him. They did the right thing getting rid of him, but for the wrong reasons. And he's out there just relaxing and chilling, collecting checks like everybody else that works for them.
Well, and he's probably, that's also his way of saying, oh, and you thought I was the problem. Huh.
I told you.
Right.